It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460 with Dan the Boy Steicher and Billy Doc Niles, brought to you by Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores in Baraboo, Black River Falls, and Toma. By Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and 3rd Street, downtown La Crosse. By Dean Satellite and Security, your local DirecTV retailer. By the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. By Dells Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells. By Weir's Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. And by J. Teach Longshots Grill and Saloon in historic downtown West Salem. Now here's Doc and Dan with today's report.
Well, welcome in, folks. It is Saturday, not a normal, typical, everyday Saturday, because there's really not much racing going on.
There's racing going on, just not in our neighborhood.
I know, it's kind of tough. That's Billy Doc Niles and Radio Man Dan Diger. Thanks for joining us. You are just starting to hear the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report on 1460 WBOG. If you need to get out and about and can't listen to the entire program, you can bring it up on the internet at coolgold1460.com or coolgold1460.com and the TuneIn app.
I don't know if I could say it after you just did that, but I love that TuneIn app.
Wow. 2 20-lap features out of the way last weekend. The time of the year I like seeing this guy leads up. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, yeah, he doesn't. Man, the shifting of the points went back and forth last week, and we've got a loaded show coming up today. You're going to hear from the top 3 in both late model features last weekend. Tony Bagstad was back on the racetrack last Saturday night.
Yeah, my buddy Tony shaking down a car there. He's going to put his son Skyler in a late model next year, so Skyler's hot lapped it a couple times. We'll get a couple of words from him towards the end of the interview, but it was a really great interview with Tony. We get to talk about the old times.
Newly acquired Hall of Famer title to Slingers Steve Apel. He's going to be joining us on the program. Paul Reicher went up to Slinger and talked to him last weekend. Chris Critter Sampson going for a street stock championship at La Crosse Speedway is going to join us. Dan Frederickson stopped by the Speedway last Saturday night to watch his buddy Nick Panitsky race. Came up on the tower and we chatted for a little bit.
Well, I kind of think Frederickson had ulterior motives there. Panitsky had some troubles with his trailer, so he borrowed Frederickson's truck and trailer. I think Frederickson was just keeping an eye on his truck and trailer.
Paul Reicher comes back later on with a Burn and Rubber race report. And this is the time of the year, if you've listened to the race report when we first started him doing this last year, there really are not a whole lot of local Wisconsin results. There's a lot of super late models, a lot of names to kind of tease you heading into Oktoberfest, but a lot of activity going on outside of Wisconsin.
We still have some stuff going on here in Wisconsin. I mean, just because La Crosse is done, the Dells is still racing tonight. Jefferson is still racing tonight. Rockford is still racing. Elko, Marshfield. So you still got some short track racing going on in the Midwest. It is winding down. A couple of them are going to end here in about another week. A couple more going into the middle of next month, but we'll keep you on top of what's going on.
Last weekend, Nick Clements won his first ever feature and a late model at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. He was on the track along with Brent Kirschner and
Cole Howland. That's a heck of a move coming off of turn 4 in the last lap. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we had a good run coming up the corner, and they were stacking up a little bit in front of us, and made the most of it and got a top 3 out of it.
What do you do for changes for the second race?
Tighten it up a little bit, and I think that's about it.
That's your third place finisher, Brent Kirschner.
All righty, how about it tonight? He tried twice to get the top spot, just cut short. Cole Howland.
Talk about that restart on the last lap.
Well, first off, Nick, you got to give him a lot of credit. He drove one heck of a race, so good job to him. But that last lap, I was going to make it interesting one way or another, and I drove it in hard into 1, and I didn't let Nick get through 1 and 2 very clean, and I tried to drive under him, just really searching for drive off right now, and it was a good race. It was a fun race. I'm glad it was exciting for all the fans, and we're going to come back and try to get them in the second feature here.
Your second place finisher, Cole Howland.
And your feature race winner, first time in his 2017 late model career, give it up for the Kachow number 8, Nick Clements.
A lot of drivers trying to take a shot at you there. First the 33, then the 1. Tell us about it.
Yeah, something broke in the right front. I don't know, the caliper, and every time I hit the brakes, it'd lock up and go up the track. So I got into Cole in the 1 restart, and then it got progressively worse. And then I hit the brakes, and it shot up the track. It gave him a little lane, and he had me sideways, but he gave me enough room to correct it somewhat, and I got it back pointed in the right direction, and we did it, baby! Woo!
So there are three names right there. Nick Clements, Cole Holland, who we thought was going to win a feature 2 weeks ago.
Boy, that was a sweet move he put on the last lap there.
And Brent Kirshner. Now let's move forward to late model feature number 2 from last weekend. 2 of the same names are in the top 3 with a different winner.
Talk about how you got through the pack.
Yeah, the cautions helped us out, and that thing just was good. We made a little bit of a change, and we thank Ty Reedy for having parts because it broke the hub, and we went to made it back out, so I got to thank him. And that thing's just good. I got to thank these guys. They worked on it a lot. And knowledge, I mean, Toby and Carlson's, I put right next to him. They all help us out a ton. So I thank them. Thank everybody for coming.
You know, wait, I got one more call. Walk away from me. So the season you've had this year, you've been close all year. Man, to finish it out like this, it's got to feel good. It's got to give you a lot of confidence going to Oktoberfest.
Honestly, we were going to take the Sawzall to it before the second feature if it wasn't any better. And it really woke up tonight, so that darn car.
What a great night for the Coachella, Nick Clements.
All righty, how about a good second place finish tonight? Second podium finish for Brent Kirshner.
Brent, man, heck of a night. Third in the first one, second in the second one. You had to work hard for this one.
It was a lot of work. Car was working pretty good. We tightened it up a little bit for that second one here, and it definitely came to life. I wanted to see, maybe a few more laps, but, the longer races are better for me, so I'm happy, though.
You're coming on at the right time at the end of the season. You only put part of the season, so you got to, like I just put to Nick, you got to feel confident for Oktoberfest, too.
We are. Oktoberfest is always a good race for us. We've had a lot of luck and a lot of success there, so we're happy and hopefully take this momentum and move it forward and maybe get a win there.
Second place is Brent Kirshner.
All right, your feature race winner at one point this year. Didn't know if he was going to run a full season. It's worked. He's got 5 wins. Your point leader, Nick Pinitsky.
Got caught by a little bit of a rule. Had to start in the back of the first one. A lot of work there, but you still made up some ground. Didn't get hurt too bad. Talk about that first feature first.
Yeah, we had to start back there. I mean, the whole night's kind of bittersweet. It's just on us. It's a rule that Lacrosse Speedway has, and they did the right thing by kicking us to the back. That's what it is. So we just got her hooked up for the second. And yeah, like you said, the first one we got a couple minor bumps and bruises, but we got through it. I don't know what we got up to, but we worked hard and got her hooked up for the second.
Showed pretty good patience coming through in that second feature, and then it just seemed like a walk in the park once you got to the front.
Well, it was everything but a walk in the park. To be honest with you, it was a lot of work, and by the time I got up there, I was so used up that I couldn't do much with them anyway. But it is what it is. Like I said, Lacrosse Speedway did the right thing by kicking us to the back.
Now, you're doing pretty good in the national points. Are you going to do any more racing between now and Oktoberfest, maybe help your national points go?
Yeah, I don't know. We got a lot of work to do. It'd be nice to get down there to Madison International. We had a good time there. I love supporting the Wisconsin track, so we might give that a shot. I just got so many people to thank about this whole program. Mountain Dew, Cooley Region Diesel Repair. Yeah, I hear him hollering up there in the stands. Yeah, right there. Yep. No, and guys like, Danny Fredrickson, everybody here knows him as a grizzly bear of Oktoberfest Speedway, or, Oktoberfest weekend, but, he's helped me out so much with this car, and matter of fact, we got a truck and trailer because we busted an axle on the way to the track today, so guys like that really make this program go.
By the way, do you know he's here tonight?
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
All right, well, hey, Dan.
All right, he'll take a point lead into Oktoberfest. It's Nick Pinitsky.
Real nice to see Nick Clements, who's worked awfully hard this year, finally get into the winner's lane.
Yeah, like we talked about in his interview in the first one, he's been close all year. He's led some races, and he's been top 3, top 5. It was really cool to see him have a great night like he did last Saturday.
Nick Pinitsky started the night with a point lead.
Yeah.
Steve Carlson took it away. Pinitsky still has it again.
Yeah, Pinitsky stumbled a little bit on a rule at Lacrosse where you have to be lined up for your race before the white flag of the race before you, and he missed that first feature. Had to start last, races himself all the way up to 7th. Got a good starting spot in that second feature, patiently picked his way to the front and walked away with it.
Alrighty, so that is the last time you're going to hear from those drivers until Thursday night of Oktoberfest, which is October 5th. And that's when we will be crowning quite a few champions. Coming up next in the program, another man that missed that rule, like Nick Paniski did, Tony Bagstad. He and Steve Apel join us next on the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Here we go, back to the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report with Doc and Dan.
Welcome back, along with Bill Doc Niles and Radio Man Dan Dyker. This is the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report on 1460 WBOG. Billy Doc Niles had a chance to talk to a man that I recognized the car number last weekend. I somewhat had recognized the car, so then we were talking up on the booth about that's an old Dexter Bean car. That's got to be Tony Bagstad. Well, he was back, not primarily for himself, but for others. Here's what Billy had to say with Tony.
It's always cool to see a familiar face come back to the Speedway in the 27 of Tony Bagstad. First of all, buddy, what brings you back tonight?
Well, we came back tonight simply to shake this car down. It's an old Dexter Bean car, and it's really for my son Skyler. But we've been practicing this summer, and I felt bad. He's going to race it next year, and I felt bad to have this car here and not at least have one race night on it. So we're going to, knock on some wood here. Hopefully, race the car and take it home in one piece, and then we can tinker with it next year for Skyler.
So you said you've had him in the car a couple of times. How's he been doing?
Unfortunately, he was almost as fast as me last time. So what's that tell you, Bill? We're both getting old. But no, he's been doing real well. But there's a difference between being on the racetrack by yourself and being out there with a bunch of cars, and being it's a points night in the end of the year. I'd just soon not have him get enemies already, causing a little trouble or something. So I'll go out and cause the trouble because I got big shoulders.
So let's go back. What you've been doing since 2010, 2011 was the last time you raced. What you been doing since then?
Well, golfing, believe it or not.
How's the game?
Not very well. It is a fun game. It does not replace stock car racing, of course. But other than that, working at Michael's, plugging away, making a living, and we do come down and help Tyler Reedy. Tyler's a good friend. And so we do get our fix, but next year, like I said, we get Skyler out here. It's kind of, how it is, father-son bonding thing. It'll be fun, The wife's, she's not too hip on it, but she'll get used to it.
It's, by the way, for me and my kids, we bond over bowling. They never had any interest in racing. So you and I, we go back a long way. What are some of your fondest memories of racing in the old Sportsman and late model days?
Well, I remember one year that you and I were the only two that got fast time the whole year. So that was a good year. I think that was probably 94, 95, 96. I don't remember. But, yeah, you and I had a lot of fun racing together. We raced each other both clean, won a lot of races back in the day. It's a shame that technology and money, it's hard to race these late models. competitively. You can come out here and compete, but to beat Nick and to beat Steve, it takes a lot more than what we got here right now. But back in the day, you and I, we'd go to a junkyard and get parts and come out and set fast time. It was more of a shine your old piece of junk. I don't want to say junk, but you know what I mean.
Well, they were old body cars. They'd do one coat of race glaze, and it was good for the year.
Yeah, no, actually, if you use race glaze, you probably cut yourself. But no, those are probably my fondest memories. We had some good years in late model too with Jerry Wild. But yeah, my fondest memories is racing sportsman cars from about 93 to 96. That was a really fun time for us.
And for those of you listening outside the area and you're wondering who we're talking to here, he was in the familiar orange and yellow 27. Tonight it's the blue one here at La Crosse. So who you got helping you out sponsor-wise for the night?
Well, I got myself, Michael's Truck Equipment, and other than that, in my back pocket. So, and like I said, this was more of an experiment. And we're just playing it by ear here, and thanks to Michael's Truck Equipment, we can be here tonight.
Well, we got Skylar standing with us right now. Buddy, tell us about what it's like being behind the wheel of this thing.
It's really fun, just turning laps and trying to learn about it. Take it out next year and see what I can do, I guess.
Get that little tingle the first time you hit the gas pedal?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
All right, Tony, appreciate you and Skylar spending some time with us. That's Tony Bagstad and his son Skylar are going to be racing late models next year.
So you heard it right there. Tony Bagstad was back. He's going to be helping his son shake that thing down. You'll see hopefully the number 27. Not sure if that's his number his son's going to run next year or not, back at the La Crosse Fairground Speedway.
Our guy Paul Reichert did a little traveling last weekend. He went to Slinger Speedway for the Wall of Fame inductions. Caught up with the super late model point leader, Steve Apel.
Steve, good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you come to Slinger.
All right. So for those of us who really don't know about your background here, where did you get started in racing and what have you run in over the years here to come up to the super lates?
Well, I started off sweeping floors for a race team when I was growing up. When I was 14, I got into a Slinger B and raced it here every other week with my brother. He raced it one week, I raced it the next. That kind of progressed into racing a limited late when I was 16. They did that for 2 or 3 years full time, and then I moved when I was 18, 19, moved up to super lates, and kind of coming here every week since I was 2 years old. So.
Mm-hmm. And of course, as we all know, you were part of the inaugural Quickie Driver Development Program here with the likes of Ty Majewski and Reagan May. And what did that experience mean to you? How much did that really get things going for you? I guess the ball rolling.
Yeah, it's I've always been kind of a one-track wonder, I call myself, because I never really got the chance to venture out to race anywhere else. So with the Quickie money, I was able to use that and go to Kaukauna and race the red, white, and blue, and also race the Tundra up there and a couple other times. So it was really nice to really get out and travel a little bit. Obviously, I had to try to keep up with Ty, and we ended up winning 2 races out of the 3. Won the red, white, and blue championship, so that was really neat. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what the Quickie thing helped me do, was able to go out and venture out instead of just being a one-track kind of guy and get out and try to make my name for somewhere else, different tracks. So that was really neat. And this year we kind of stepped back and just did Slinger weekly. Next year, not really sure what we're going to do, but we'll be racing somewhere.
Oh yeah. And of course, like you said, you've been involved in the Tundra Series from time to time, and had some pretty good successes up at Kaukauna, especially winning the race earlier this year to start the season. What is it about Kaukauna here that really has really clicked for you, just like Slinger has?
I talked a lot to Lowell about kind of the technique of Kaukauna and where to gain speed, and once I did that, I was able to pick up quite a bit, and it's a unique track. It's definitely not anything like Slinger or Rockford or any of the tracks that I've been to. So that was my biggest challenge, was just trying to learn the track and figure out where I needed to be better at, where I was getting beat at. So once I did that, then I got a lot more competitive.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we've seen you in action a few times with the ARCA Midwest Tour. Ran last year or a couple of years ago at Elko. You've run at Oktoberfest at La Crosse a few times. What are those tracks like for you?
Really challenging. I'm used to a high bank track like Slinger, where you're really aggressive. Even in Kaukauna, you're really aggressive. Rockford, you're aggressive. So I run well there. When you go to tracks like La Crosse, it's more of a finesse track. Elko is more of a finesse track. Wausau, those tracks have their challenges. But every time we go back somewhere, we've always been better. So right now it's just trying to get get through the year this year and then try to get to some specials at the end of the year and just try to make ourselves better every week.
Yep. And of course, last year that great three-way fight for the championship when you and last year's Quickie Driver Program champion Alex Brunny and Chris Ballard, that must have been exciting all the way down the end of the season. I think, if I remember right, the three of you finished together in the final race of the year.
Yeah, it came down to the last night. It was between Chris and myself. The last night, whoever beat whoever was going to win the championship is what it came down to. So, we knew at that time we had to beat him to win the championship, and we finished fourth. He finished third. He ended up beating us. So, at the end of the day, he's been a great champion. We worked just as hard, if not harder, every single year to try to get back to that position. So. We're excited this year. It's coming down again to the line. Last 3 nights to go. Top 3 are within spitting distance of each other. So it should be pretty exciting to see what happens in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, of course, this year we replace Gary Lamont replaces Chris Ballard there in the championship fight, and that's going to be a really good one again.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've had our fair share of battles this year so far, so. It's definitely something you're not going to want to miss coming up here the last 3 nights. It's crazy how fast the season's going, and see what happens.
Yep. And of course, you got some great sponsors here to support you in your racing deal. So let's give those folks a thank.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, without my sponsors, I couldn't race. This is a team that's raced off of sponsors' money. So Schrader Simplicity, Pathfinder Chassis, Interstate Saw, ACETA, HMB. Bankers Life and Casualty, Zeller Transportation, the list goes on and on and on of all the people that help support us. So, but I don't want to cut it short, but I got to get in and ready for practice. So.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Steve, and good luck with this championship fight.
Awesome, thank you.
So there you have it, Steve Apel, who obviously we will be seeing back at Oktoberfest race weekend. Tony Bagstad, not sure if he'll be back or not. Wow, what a points race they got going on at Slinger.
Yeah, Apel just barely hanging on to that lead. I think Paul Reichert said it was Gary Lamont, Alex Prunty
second, Lamont third.
Lamont third. So they got a great battle going on there. Looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Check out SlingerSpeedway.com. When we come back, Chris Critter Sampson is going to join us for the Team Dean segment, and he's going for a Street Stock Championship at the La Crosse Speedway. That's Billy Doc. I'm Radio Man Dan. We're right back next on 1460 WBOG.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Trisha and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night, where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. We're the best in the Midwest race.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin. A proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry. From engine parts, tools, suspension parts, to race accessories. Head to Weir'sMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
It's Team Dean time as the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report continues on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back to Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here on 1460 WBOG. That is CoolGold1460.com. Thanks for listening to us on the internet and the TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
Thousands tune in every weekend right off the TuneIn app. Hey, our next guest is a good friend of mine. As a matter of fact, we've been friends for, I want to say, all the way back to about 2005 when I moved to the area. He's been racing longer than that, took a couple of years off, and he is, his sights, Billy, are on a track championship in which I can guarantee he had no clue we would be discussing at the beginning or about halfway through August.
Well, at least handed it to him on a silver platter. Let's welcome in the Critter, Chris Sampson. How you doing, bud? Left-handed handshake there.
Critter, good to have you on the program, my friend. And as we were saying on the TV side of things, I can't believe out of you and Brad Worthen and Dakota Miller and the trunk monkey Caleb Miller that I've never had you on the program. It kind of shocks me.
It does. It does shock me.
I do apologize if we've never had you on before, because I know you're very entertaining. And again, we've been good friends for quite a long time. First off, man, we do want to wish well wishes to John Aaron. I know he's got some other sick things he's been going through. He's been under the weather for a long time now. And because of that, he obviously had to step away from trying to three-peat in the street stock class. But it sure opened the door up for you. And man, you've taken advantage of it.
Yes, I have. I want to say condolences to John, and I want to make sure he's feeling all right, and I don't want to make anything else out of it, but I'm glad that he's doing all right from the last update I saw.
Well, Dutch, we talked about this last week. Your health is more important than any track championship ever will be, and but not only his illness opening up the door, but your brother kind of stepping away and spending more time on a sportsman car. Talk a little bit. We talked about it on a TV show. Talk about it here on the radio show. What led to the decision to make him?
And it was so shocking because Dakota was right there.
He won track championship right there. What made him decide to stick with the sportsman car?
He needed to focus more on the sportsman car. That's where he wanted to be this season, actually. He didn't want to really run the street stock class. And because of a mechanical failure that could have been avoided on the street stock, he decided to focus more on the sportsman.
So talk about what your experience is with the street stock class this year. How much fun are you having out there?
I'm having loads of fun. I mean, I didn't think I was actually going to have this much fun in this class, and it takes out the years I had in Hornets, the 10 years or whatever it was. It's been more fun this 1 year than it was all those 10 years.
You know, and looking at them cars, I mean, you look at like the Thunder stocks, they can make certain adjustments to their cars. Hornets, they've figured out how to make adjustments to theirs to get around the corners. You guys can't do a heck of a lot to yours.
No, not really. I mean, even the cars that we've got, we can't even make camber adjustments from the factory.
Oh, wow.
If we want to, we have to buy a specific kit from an aftermarket dealer to make camber adjustments to our cars. So we're set to where we are.
They're not going to allow that, are they?
I don't think so.
Tire-wise, I mean, you notice the Thunderstocks are now running on racing tires. Hornets have pretty much found themselves a class tire they're all running on. What do you guys run for tires?
We run whatever we can. We found a good tire that we've stuck with for the past couple seasons. And being that the hardest part is our cars come factory with speed-rated tires, and in the rules we can't run speed-rated tires. So we tried to find something that is giving us as much grip out of the corner and be able to get us down the stretch that we can actually make effective, and we've kind of found something like that. We're still kind of in the search of finding the tires, but we've run basically what we can get our hands on.
Chris Critter Sampson joining us on the program, the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here on 1460 WPOG. Interesting weekend for you last weekend. When I get to the racetrack, I see Dakota Miller's street stock car next to Brad Worthen's Sportsman and Jordan Young standing there. And then I find out that Jordan was going to run Dakota's car. And then I come to find out during qualifying that the 08 is on the side of the car. I'm like, no, that's not the right number. Jordan Young runs the 27. Your car had broke, and you were left with Dakota Miller's car.
Yes, exactly. I was going out for the second hot lap session. And when I went to back out of my pit stall, I went to go put it in to go forward, and I just had nothing. I could rev the engine and just couldn't go anywhere. I ended up breaking a CV axle on the right side. Snapped a nut right off the end of the CV axle.
How hard was that jumping into Dakota's car and knowing that's a car that you've obviously helped work on, but you've not been behind the wheel of?
It was quite a bit of difference. I hadn't even driven the car before qualifying, and I luckily went out and qualified second, not ever driving that car before. And it handles totally different. It drives totally different. It just, I don't know what it is. They're the exact same cars, but for some reason, Dakota's just handles a little different and drives a little different.
Talk about the points championship here. Real close. I mean, it is, 32 points that separates between you and Chris Larson, and it's going to be the three of you, but this thing is not sewn up yet.
No, by no means. We still have 2 nights left on the schedule. We've got September 2nd, the night of the Enduro. We'll be running our normal race night there, and then we'll have the Thursday night of Fest, and I don't know exactly what'll be there, but as long as I can keep my nose clean and just be able to drive with my head, I should be able to wrap that championship up, hopefully in the next night, but who knows to say what's going to actually happen.
With this type of car, is anybody else around the Midwest running anything like this? Would you be able to go somewhere else and race with a car that's as close as yours?
As far as I know, a lot of the tracks in the area are coming up with these types of cars. I know Al Bartles, last year's Street Stock champion, went down to Madison, I believe, a couple weeks ago, if I remember correctly. And I'm not sure how he did, but they're opening up. I heard something about maybe Slinger has something. I'm not quite sure about that one, but if I want to go somewhere else, I just got to see what the rules are. And the biggest thing that's getting us right now as far as going other places is we're not required to have a roll cage in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So, and right now our cars don't have the roll cages. So if we do want to go somewhere else, we have to build a roll cage to what their rules specify.
Would you put the roll cage in and go play?
There will be a roll cage in the 08 car before Oktoberfest, because I would love to run the 00 in that car.
That's awesome. We only got a couple minutes left. Why don't you talk about some of the sponsors helping you out this year?
We got Dakota Miller Trucking, my brother. He gave me the opportunity this off-season to drive the car. And Advantage Auto Salvage in Sparta, they keep the car on the track with all the parts I get from him. Critter Did Fab and Auto Repair out of Sparta and Bangor keeps the car up and going, working on it. And my new sponsor, J Frost Automotive out of Sparta, and then Billy Bob's Garage out of Sparta.
Chris Critter Sampson, great friend of mine for a long time now. Great to see him back racing again. He had to step away, had some young ones, and they're getting awfully older as it is.
It's kind of fun playing with the one up at the tower there Saturday night.
Oh, Junior's fun. Oh, yeah. Junior, let's go. I'm coming. And he tells him as I'm walking, you know, Dyker's behind you. You better pick up the pace or he's going to step right over the top of you. And I came close to doing that. Chris, man, I tell you what, you and Chris Larson, a couple of good race car drivers. It's really nice to see a points battle. Knowing you as long as I have, I'm really, really glad to see where you've come and where you are now. And, man, that Thursday night of Oktoberfest is going to be outstanding once we've got a street stock champion out there. And, of course, I know John Aaron's going to be trying to be there and
spoil the party.
He's going to, well, either that or he's going to be there for a handshake for you.
Yeah, I would love to see John down there for Oktoberfest to at least give the handshake. I don't care if he's in the car, but I just want to see him down there and see him in good health.
Need some work done? Critter Did Fab Auto Repair. Look him up on Facebook or let us know, and we'll set you up with the guy. I've seen what he's done in the past, and it's simply outstanding. When we come back on the program, I want to thank Team Deans for sponsoring that segment.
Thank you, Team Deans.
A strange guy named Dan Frederickson jumps on the program next, right here in the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report on 1460 WBOG.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Trisha and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean's Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean's Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin. A proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry. From engine parts, tools, suspension parts, to race accessories. Head to WeirsMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
It's the Abbott and Costello of short track racing. Doc and Dan on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back. Whitetail Crossing, Community Stores Race Report on 1460 WBOG. That is www, which nobody even uses anymore. CoolGold1460.com and the TuneIn app.
Love the TuneIn app. It's on your smartphone. Just look it up on your Play Store. Find the TuneIn app, look for 1460 WBOG, and listen to this program every Saturday at noon.
Wow, I almost had a tear forming right there. That was good.
I tried to go radio voice there.
Well, you got to try some more bass next time. You know, a guy that showed up at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway last weekend, I've seen him, I think, at 3 different tracks this year so far. I got a text during a caution lap at the La Crosse Speedway during the NASCAR late models. Hey, dude, I'm here. Look down to your left. And I'm looking down. Danny Frederickson was standing by.
It was really cool to see him there. We know him and Paninsky have been helping each other out all year. And, you know, like we said earlier in the program, Paninsky had some issues with his hauler, so Frederickson let him use his hauler and his trailer. And it was really neat just to see him pop up and talk to you. And let's see what Danny had to say to our boy Dan.
Folks, if you're here for Oktoberfest race weekend, a name that's always won in the hunt for another 200-lap Oktoberfest feature win will be super late model Dan Frederickson. He joins us up in the booth. Danny, how are you?
Doing great. Just come out to watch my buddy in the 22 there. He helps me out when I race, and he's not. And he's had a great year this year, so this is the first time we've gotten out to watch him, so we're enjoying it here.
I know Nick was helping you out down in, goodness gracious, where were we at? Kaukauna about a month or so ago, and you had a subpar finish there. I know you wanted to win that race pretty good. A good win down at Madison International Speedway last night.
Yeah, it's a little 3-race points deal, Triple Crown they call it, and Paul Schaefer Jr. won the race last night, and then we won the Triple Crown deal. So just a small little 3-race deal, but still a lot of fun and great track down there, you know.
You know, here at La Crosse, we've been averaging between 25 and 29 late models this season. I know for a guy yourself that drives as much as you do, the numbers, you like to see that.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I'm seeing so far just in these 10 laps some great racing. It's kind of a bummer that Nick had to start in the back there, but it looks like it wound him up pretty good, and he's coming through the field nicely, so we'll see what he makes of it. And, you know, we hope him the best. I mean, Steve Carlson, he's been a mentor and a hero of mine since I was probably, you know, old enough to understand what was going on. So, you know, I got like one of my best friends racing against one of my heroes, and Steve's my friend too. So it's very interesting. These La Crosse fans should be very thankful that then Nick runs down here 2.5 hours to race against Steve, and you know, it's been great. We've been watching it, of course, online and in the ads and Racing Nuggets and all that, and now we get to witness it firsthand.
Here in just about a month or so, believe it or not, we're going to be upon Oktoberfest. I can't believe we're even crowning champions tonight. As our drivers are going to start crossing them up, we're going to find out the front row again. Will be Nick Clements. Cole Howland's going to succeed that. Matt Henderson got about a month ago. What's in store for you before the famous Oktoberfest?
We'll be at the Dells for the ARCA Midwest Tour race, and then the Thunderstruck at Elko, of course, is a very big one for me. We'll be down here on Thursday with young Cole Anderson. We brought him here for the Thunder race. Turned out pretty decent for him, and we'll have him down here for that Futures race and the Trickle, and I look real forward to the Oktoberfest, the big race on Sunday here again.
A race I know that you would like to win again.
Yeah, I'd like to win every one of them if possible.
All righty. Good to have Danny Frederickson, Super Late Model driver, back up here. He's won Oktoberfest in the past. And again, he's going to be one to watch here in the future. Again, Super Late Model Dan Frederickson, thanks for stopping by.
You know, Dan, listening to that, it seems to me like he is just flat out determined that he's going to end the season taking every race he can, weekend race, you know, like Thunderstruck and Oktoberfest. He seems really determined.
Yeah, and I've talked to him in the past before Oktoberfest has rolled around, and he's never seemed just that. I mean, he's won it, what did you say, Paul, 3 times? 3 or 4 times now, and he's kind of been tripped up a couple of times at Oktoberfest, so I know that that's one that he wants to get back. What do you think, Nick Panitsky now? I mean, obviously, the last time I saw those two together, Panitsky was pitting for Danny Frederickson at Kaukauna for the Dixieland 250. What do you think with those two kind of teammating each other, a little on the outside looking in? What do you think Panitsky's shot at is winning an Oktoberfest race?
I think he's got a good shot to win an Oktoberfest. I mean, he had a good end of the season winning that second feature, and man, if he races Oktoberfest just like he did on Saturday night, he really could claim and win.
And you know, Billy, the good point there, Panitsky always said he didn't know if he was going to run a full season of lacrosse. He's ran it enough, he's won it enough, and can win a track championship there. You talk about seat time heading into Fest?
Oh, definitely. And you know, is he going to be running a super late model at the tail end of the weekend for Oktoberfest? We know he's going to run lacrosse on Thursday night because he's got an 11-point lead, and all he has to do is stay close to Carlson, and he's got himself, you know, his first track championship here in Wisconsin. And not to mention the state points that go with it too.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a great shot. You know, you talked about.
As a matter of fact, he is 13th in national points.
You talked about Frederickson helping him, and I could see it from the pits watching how he was going into them corners. And there are very few people that enter the corner that way, and Frederickson definitely has Panitsky's ear, because it looks like they go into the corner just the same way, hard, fast. They make a good solid corner, and they shoot right off. So you could see Frederickson's been helping him out there.
Paul Reichert, Steve Apel leading the points at Slinger. That one's not even close to being done yet.
Yeah, this looks like a lot like last year when it was Steve and Chris Blowett and Prunty for the championship, and they ended up finishing right together at the final race of the season. I think it's like about 20 points between Steve and Alex, and Lamont had another bad night, and he's like about 40 or so back. So it's going to be interesting to see if Steve can claim his 4th track championship in the Super Lates.
Already talking about Paul Reichert, he's going to jump right back in here the next segment, and we've got our world-famous Burning Rubber Race Report coming up, and then we're going to close out the program. Paul Reichert, Billy Doc Niles. We're coming right back on 1460 WBOG.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night, where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park, where the best in the Midwest race.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Tricia and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shot Sports Bar, downtown Wassalem.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Get ready. It's the Days Inn Burnin' Rubber Race Report with Paul Reichert. Brought to you by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. Now here's Paul with this week's report.
Hey there, race fans. It's Paul Reichert. Got another edition of the Burnin' Rubber Race Report all ready to go for you after the break. Among the results we'll talk about this week, the Super Late Model Triple Crown Challenge Series wrapped up at Madison. The Luke Sawyer Late Model Dirt Series ran their annual Topless 100 in Arkansas. And the ARCA Racing Series had the first of their 2 annual dirt races running on the Springfield Dirt Mile last Sunday. All that and much more in the Burnin' Rubber Race Report coming up next.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
Hi again, race fans. It's Paul Reichert back with you for another edition of the Burnin' Rubber Race Report presented by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center. Time to check out what happened on the racing scene this past week. We'll start with the USAC Midgets. They visited Path Valley Speedway in Spring Run, Pennsylvania Monday night. Chad Boat the victor. Then they moved on to Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway in Newmanstown, Pennsylvania Tuesday. Tanner Thorson scored the win. The NASCAR Wayland Modified Tour in action Wednesday on the high banks of Bristol prior to the truck race. Patrick Emerlane, making his series debut, scored the victory. Thursday at Wausau, Jerry Brickner won the Super Late Model feature. Brock Heinrich took the late model feature. At Kaukauna, John DeAngelis Jr. won the super late model feature. Unfortunately, the rains came and KO'd the late model feature. USAC Midgets ran at Linda's Speedway in Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Chad Boat, another victory for him. Devin Moran won the World of Outlaw late model race at Georgetown, Delaware. Friday at Grundy, Eddie Hoffman won the super late model feature. Season finale at Hawkeye Downs for the late models won by Caleb Adrian. Brian Gibson's your champion for the 3rd year in a row. At Madison, final round of the Super Late Model Triple Crown Challenge Series taking place. Indiana driver Paul Schaefer Jr. scored the victory. Dan Fredrickson's your champion. Midwest Trucks also part of that show. Kevin Canisi scored the win. At the Norway Speedway up in Diupia, Tyler Radovich won the Super Late Model feature. Denny Schott won the Modified feature Thomas Sparta. All-Star Circuit of Champions at Williams Grove, Denny Dietrich scored the victory. Sierra Jigs All-Star Tour at Bertrand, Michigan, Carson Hocevar scored the win. U.S. Modified Touring Series ran at Lakeside Speedway in Kansas City, Rodney Sanders the winner, and Donnie Schatz took the World of Outlaw Sprint Car feature at River City Speedway in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Saturday at Cedar Lake, A.J. Demo won the NASCAR Late Model feature, Darrell Nelson the NASCAR Modified feature. Jason Cummings scored yet another USRA Modified feature win at Deer Creek. Jesse Bernhagen won the Late Model feature at the Dells. Dwayne Barron's Memorial for the NASCAR Late Models at Elko, double features, run by Michael Ostdyke and Jacob Gady. A week after his brother won the late model feature at Jefferson, Sean Shield scores the late model win. Double features for the NASCAR late models on the weekly finale at La Crosse. Nick's running amok. Nick Clements won the first, Nick Panitsky the second. Final round of the Wisconsin Challenge Series taking place at Marshfield. Chris Weinkoff scored the victory, and he's your champion. Final race of the year at Rice Lake was Soul Modified feature won by Corey Mader. Kevin Buzzy Adams, your champion. Remember Dennis Smith Jr. in that fire at the Big 8 opener at Rockford 4 months ago? He won the NASCAR Late Model feature at Rockford Saturday night, first ever win. Brett Swedberg won the Late Model feature at Chono. Mike Mullen the IMCA Modified feature. Lucas Oil made pro motocross at Budds Creek Motocross Park in Mechanicsville, Pennsylvania. Justin Bogle and Eli Tomac split the motos. Bogle's the overall winner. American Canadian Tour ran at White Mountain Motorsports Park in North Woodstock, New Hampshire. Dylan Moltz the winner. Badger Midgets at Sycamore, Illinois. Scott Hatton the victor. Brian Gerster won the must-see Racing Extreme Sprint Car Series race at Berlin Raceway. Southern Super Series ran at Mobile, Alabama. Bubba Pollard is the winner. Spears of SRL Southwest toward Irwindale, California. Derek Thorne scored the victory. U.S. Modified Touring Series ran at the Salina High Bank Speedway in Prairie Creek, Oklahoma. Jason Hughes the winner. Justin Grant won the USAC Silver Crown race on the Illinois State Fairgrounds Dirt Mile in Springfield. World of All Late Miles were at Port Royal, Pennsylvania. Brandon Shepard wins again. And the Racing Cajun Jason Johnson won the World of Outlaw Sprint Car featured Red River Valley Speedway in West Fargo, North Dakota. Sunday at Angel Park, Scott Hatton scored another Badger Midget feature win. 15-year-old Grant Griesbach won his first ever Super Late Model feature at Slinger Sunday night. All-Star Circuit of Champions were at Susquehanna Raceway Park in Newberrytown, Pennsylvania. Greg Hodnett the winner. Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series at the Missouri State Fair Speedway in Sedalia. Sam Haverteef the winner. ARCA ran the first of their 2 dirt races at the Illinois State Fairgrounds Dirt Mile in Springfield. Grant Enfinger the winner. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series were at Batesville, Arkansas for the Topless 100. Scott Bloomquist won for the 5th time. NHRA was in their neck of the woods up at Brainerd. Leia Pritchett won in Top Fuel. Alexa DeJoria won in Funny Car. Tanner Gray in Pro Stock and Jerry Savoie in Poor Stock Motorcycles. U.S. Modified Touring Series at 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas. Jason Hughes the winner. World of Outlaw Late Models were at Erie's Speedway in Erie, Pennsylvania. Brandon Shepard scored yet another win. And the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars were at Nodak Speedway in Minot, North Dakota. David Gravel came out on top. And that'll do it for this edition of the Burning Rubber Race Report presented by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center. I'm Paul Riker, and we'll talk to you folks next week.
That's the Days Inn Burnin' Rubber Race Report with Paul Reichert, brought to you by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean's Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean's Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin, a proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry, from engine parts, tools, suspension parts, to race accessories. Head to Weir'sMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
There's the white flag. One more lap on Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back one more time. I'm Dan Dyker along with Paul Riker, Billy Doc Niles. The closing portion of the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here on 1460 WPOG. I want to remind you, a lot of contests are coming up between now and Oktoberfest on our Facebook page, the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report, and then we're going to throw some on our Big Boar Barbecue 7 Rivers Racing Show, so make sure you add yourself to both of those Facebooks. Billy Doc Niles, I want you to ask Paul Reichert what kind of festivities he had at the La Crosse Speedway last weekend, totally outside of racing.
Paul, what'd you do?
Well,
he messed up because I totally forgot about it until he just mentioned it on the last segment.
Well, I was getting a burger at the hamburger stand and
everything starts with food.
It was going to get some ketchup on. They had these new ketchup dispensers at the
at the condiment stands, and I was going to go.
Wish I could have seen this.
I was going to push it down, and it was a little hard to get down, and all of a sudden,
Jesse, we're about to lose Paul here. You better shut his mic off for a minute.
So I asked Paul, I'm like, did you keep it on? He's going to stain in his shirt. Then somebody tells him later on he's got some in his glasses. It was in his hair.
He's pointing at, you still got some up here. You could turn him. Yeah, he does. Jesse spotted it. Yep.
Why can't I be a part of watching something like that? Bill, you would have had to come up and announce the race this Saturday if I'd have watched him blow up a ketchup container right in front of me.
Well, you'd have probably screamed at somebody was,
It's food waste.
Yes,
I was just not happy. I was just pissed with myself through the rest of qualifying. And I was
so this was early in the night. The ultimate question is, did you still eat the item you were pasting ketchup on?
Yeah.
That is just
wow.
That is simply that's something I've never done and never will do. You've got to have patience when you're applying the condiments to your sandwich.
That's why you take your time, Paul. Yeah. Hey, Dan, JT's Long Shots has your shot at a 4-day weekend pass to the Oktoberfest race weekend.
We had a good time at JT's last weekend.
Yes, we
did.
Can
you say Fire-Ball?
Fire-Ball, yes. But hey, after the races every Saturday night through the next few weeks, stop into JT's with your ticket stub or your pit pass. Put your name and your phone number on the back of it. Drop it in the hopper. This September, JT's is going to pull one of those names out of the hopper. You're going to win 2 4-day passes to the Oktoberfest race weekend. 2 4-day passes to the Oktoberfest race weekend. That's JT's Long Shots in historic downtown West Salem.
Had a great time. We've been there. I think I've been there 3 times now this summer. Some of those nights we were getting rained out and getting out of there early, we didn't have a chance to go. They've had some fantastic bands, and they've got a comedian coming up here in September that is going to tell people how to get kicked out of your parents' house, how to get kicked out of a date, and kicked off the Bob and Tom show.
I thought nobody got kicked off the Bob and Tom show.
They invite that kind of trickery.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, JT's Long Shots in downtown West Salem, home of some of the best wings that you and I have sunk our teeth into.
Love the garlic parm wings. And they
wouldn't have been late last week. They would have had the kitchen open.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm going to mention that Dells Raceway Park. It's interesting that when you look at who's on the marquee for August 26th, the Midwest Truck Series running a 50-lapper at Dells tonight. No late models.
No late models. Well, then you're going to see them guys probably running up to Marshfield. I think Marshfield still has a race going on. It's great. The Dells has got the trucks tonight. Love watching them trucks run. They're pretty cool. If you've never seen a truck race before, this is the time to do it. Tonight's the night.
They're going to join the Sportsmen, the Bandits, and the Outlaws. Coming up on September 2nd is a very famous race. They're going to pack a lot of people in. It's the Bill Mueller Memorial 101.
That's going to be a good one. It's get to be one of the crown jewels at the Dells now. They've had a lot of historic races over the years. Like the Nabafelt, the Bill Mueller is starting to fall right into that.
And I saw that race last year and saw Derek Cross dominate and run away with that whole 101 laps. That was just an awesome race to see him go around the victory lane and. Congratulations for everybody in the upper victory lane. That was just awesome.
And how about this for Labor Day weekend? La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway has Night of Destruction, where we're just going to blow everything up. If you haven't had enough, Sunday, September 3rd, head down to the Dells at 4. They've got their Labor Day of Doom plus fireworks. I think I'm going to do that this year. I'm going to head, when I'm done announcing at La Crosse, I'm going to head to the Dells and go watch them blow stuff up.
That's going to be fun to watch. I love fireworks. And you know what? Whether it's the Dells or anywhere in the Midwest, get out and support your local short track.
Like I said on Facebook last week, I've heard it from Mark Barton, I heard it from Kyle Busch, and I heard it from Bubba Pollard. Racing is alive and kicking here in Wisconsin. For Paul Reichert, I want to thank him for joining us in the program, and Billy Doc Niles. I was going to thank Tony Bangstad, Steve Apel, Chris Sampson, Dan Frederickson. I'm Dan Dyker. We will see you at a short track soon enough and your local buffet. This is 1460 WBOG.
There's the checkered flag. Join us again next week for the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460, brought to you by Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores in Baraboo, Black River Falls, and Toma. By Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and 3rd Street, downtown La Crosse. By Dean Satellite and Security, your local DirecTV retailer. By the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. By Dells Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells. By Weir's Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. And by JT Longshots Grill and Saloon in historic downtown West Salem. It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460.